Hey guys, welcome back to Almost Inevitable Design, and this is another sort of tutorial request. It ended up becoming a request. So this is the type of layout that we're going to try. Now this section, the hero section, as you can see, it's bananas. I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a little cluttered for my taste, but it has really nice, strong colors and stuff. So yeah. So the whole thing about this is what we're trying to do here in this particular layout is there's a hero section here, as you can see, with people walking on the beach and probably gonna get sand in their sneakers, and um, they have this subscription sign up opt-in mailing list opt-in subscription form here, um, and we want it to overlay the hero section here, right? And they sell MacBooks or dark screens, or is it the video being blocked? I have no idea. Yeah, nice yellow colors because it's bananas. All right, so we're going to try to do this part, okay? And this is what we have. Now, it doesn't look the same, and it's not yellow, but what we're doing here is what this tutorial is about. And it's really easy to put whatever you want in here. I could put in a mail opt-in form like this, or I could put in an image like that, or whatever I want, right? And also, in this case, it is responsive like this. It will stack later on. Nobody has that kind of screen. So it'll stack like that, and it will come out like this. All right, so let's see how we can put this together. Here in the back, this is what it looks like, and this first section here is the hero section, and I'm using a background like this, and it's just parallax. That's not important at all, and it's the custom class. In this case, I named Save the World. I have a few custom classes that I always use for the hero sections, and they're all just referrals, referring to things with the word hero in it, like Bonnie Tyler, Foo Fighters, Metallica, Mariah Carey, and here this is Save the Cheerleaders, Save the World. It was pretty good until season 2. Yeah. Anyways, the TV series Heroes. So Save the World is the class that we're using in this case, and that's it. That's all we need. And there's a row. There's nothing special about this row. We'll just leave it as is. And here I have a code module. Now, of course, you can use, what is it? Text modules. It's fine. It really doesn't matter. I also put in a BR just to make it easy. Normally, I would take code module and then give it a size like 100%, for example, and then go into code module inner and then resize that so I can manipulate the size. But that's not what we're doing in this case, and that's not the point in this tutorial, so I'm just going to put in a line break and that's it. Okay? Of course, the subtitle will also have just a line break here. And this lorem ipsum that you see here is hipster ipsum. Hipsum Co. is where you get your hipster ipsum, and it is very hipster. So yeah. Anyways, not important. So that's how this is put in. Okay. There's nothing in the custom class because we don't need anything for this guy. But for the one that goes over, like this part, this guy, we'll need one custom class. Now the stuff in here is also not important. It's just hipster ipsum. It's not important. I put in a background here just because it's easier for Divi users who use the module settings to understand, as opposed to, well, normally I would just code everything. I don't do anything but just leave this in there, but it doesn't matter. So we can just do this, right? You can style this any way you want. I'm trying to make my code for the tutorials as least intrusive as possible, so it won't get in the way of any of your stylings. Okay? Now, the only thing that we need to add here is a custom class called the overlay module. That's it, the overlay module. That's it. So everything else is taken care of, and I just wanted to add some parallax and stuff, so I just had that have this bunch of text here, like 5 paragraphs of text here. Doesn't matter. These guys, as you can see, are down here, and they're just sitting there doing nothing. Now, they actually have the overlay module class in them, and the great thing about this is it will not do anything if it's not inside the Save the World section. Okay, so we'll just leave these guys here as is. You can pull them up, take that out, do whatever you want. Pull this guy in here, pull this guy out, and it'll just put the new guy in the right spot. So that's what it is. Okay. All right. So this is how it looks. It really doesn't. I don't need to refresh. That doesn't do anything. Let me just explain just a little bit about how the CSS is written. While you're watching, while you're here, I am coming out with a new CSS course. It is very comprehensive. It starts off from total beginner, people who can't even start writing anything and just get anxious when they start typing, those kind of people, all the way up to almost writing all this yourself, pretty much. All right, so I cover everything, and there's a lot of videos, and it talks about everything that you need. So keep a lookout for that. Subscribe to the newsletter just so you get special discounts and offers, and I'll see you in the course, I guess. Anyways, so what we have here now, just to style this stuff, I added this stuff here. Now, this is not important, and of course, it will not be in the CSS that you copy paste from the website. I added white text here just to make that guy white. It doesn't matter. Okay, now save the world. This is where everything starts. Okay, save the world. Now, I don't like the Divi default padding, so I just take everything out, especially with the hero section. I think it's a lot safer that way, and you can have proper control. All right, so that's why there's no padding, and I add a height, which is 40 VW, which means this aspect ratio of the hero section will always stay the same, which is good, which is how I like it. Okay, I don't use VH because vertical height. I don't use that because viewport height. That is, I'm sorry, viewport height, because it causes a lot of problems, and people rely on that too much, and it's not good practice once you get used to coding for responsive behavior. I also have a course on responsiveness, and that's all linked in the post. All right, you can check that out. It's pretty cool. All right, so this is 40 VW, which is a pretty good size that I always use. I use something between 40 and 50, and in this case, I used 40. Right, so because the section has nothing, it's just has the padding and the height. The next element on down is the row, which has the exact same padding and height. Then that means these two divs are just the same thing. Okay, but it's not width of 100, which is important, right? Because when I was playing around with this, it defaults at 80, which is right here where the oops. Oh man, don't do that. Go back. It defaults at 80 and max width 1080, which is where the logo and the menu sits. And there's not enough space here, so I just wanted to stretch it out. But I didn't want it to touch the edge, and I don't want to use percentages. So what I use instead is calculation 100% minus 120, which means 60 here and 60 here. Does that make sense? Yeah, because it's on both sides, right? And of course, the row is centered, so that means you get 60 on each side if you take 120 out of 100%, right? Okay, and the max width is 100 because we want to override the Divi settings. Okay, everything else from here on down is just to make this centered vertically and to the left, right? So flex start, as you can see here, and vertically center, all right? And of course, we need to give it a position relative, so then we can take this guy and make it absolute. And of course, it sticks on the bottom, and the right side, this side over here, is 0, so it'll stick right there. And I gave it a width. You can change this width if you feel that this should be some other width, of course. Height auto, I left it at auto because we don't want to fix the height. Otherwise, it'll scrunch up and it'll just, And of course, padding, it's up to you. You can take the padding out if you don't need it, but I do suggest you leave height in at auto, and of course width you're gonna have to adjust yourself. These guys you can't touch because otherwise they'll just go somewhere else, and we want it right here, so they'll stay there. Okay, now the major breakpoint for this is at 980. Now with 980, what we need is these guys to stack but not look like they're just trying to overlap or just causing spacing issues, right? So what we have, I'm just going to pull this out. Did I pull it out? Oh, come on, go back. C, is that C? No, C, there we go. Inspector, that's the inspector. I use Firefox, so it's not Command-Shift-I for me, it's Command-Alt-C. Different. All right, so here we are. Now we want these guys to stack. We want them to stack, which is why I took out all the fixed heights. So that's height. Oh, we don't need that actually. So height auto, height auto, height auto. We're just gonna kill all the heights. So then they will actually wrap around the height of the content. Okay, so we did that, and usually now because I'm using the code module, this is the code module, and this is up to you how you pad it up top and bottom. If you're using a text module, this should be ETPB text. Okay, padding top and bottom, it's up to you. I don't use margins in this case. I use paddings because it is a little more manageable than margins, because sometimes you will have margin collapse. And of course, I talk about all of this in the course, so yeah, keep an eye out and take the course. So this, I've noticed that Divi adds 30 pixels on the bottom of every module when it's under 980 across, so when it stacks. And I don't need that, so I just took it out. All right. Now these things you don't have to worry too much about. I just explained what these do, just so you know how to space things out. But the important thing is this guy. Okay, this will keep the overlay module as a regular module that will stack. And because I changed the flex settings to end, which means everything will go vertically to the bottom of the thing. And of course, things are going to be stretched, so it's just going to fit anyways. That's why it's fit on the bottom without absolute positioning. Okay, so what you need to do, I will put tags in just so it's easy for you to tell which is which. But just a simple recap, you can change this to change the height, but this will have to change everywhere, and this changes the margin you get at the end here, the padding or the gutter here on this side, and you can change the width of the overlaying module and the padding. Of course, none of that is important. the height should stay. The height should stay. These guys don't matter. Okay, and this is just for the padding here and here, so that's not important. Width 100, I just made it width 100 so it'll align when it stacks. And also heights should all be canceled out with auto. Okay, all right, and of course this is the important part where we can get the overlaying module to now stack. All right, so copy paste this and make your adjustments, then paste it into the custom CSS fields that you use, and we're done. Okay, so hope this helps, and subscribe to the newsletter for some more offerings, and keep a lookout for the new course, and I will see you in another video. Okay, take care, bye-bye.